How do the four strokes of a piston engine compare to a turbine engine? They match up closely. Intake equals the air inlet. Compression equals the compressor. The power and ignition strokes match the combustion and turbine sections, and the exhaust stroke matches the exhaust section. So even though they work differently, both engines complete the same basic process: intake, compression, power, and exhaust. What type of jet engine do most airliners use today, and why? Modern airliners use high bypass turbofan engines. They move more air with less fuel, creating more thrust and much less noise than older turbojets. This makes them efficient, quiet, and ideal for passengers. What are the main types of gas turbine engines? There are four types: turbofan, turboprop, turboshaft, and turbojet. Turbofans power most airliners. Turboprops are used in smaller commuter aircraft. Turboshafts power helicopters, and turbojets are mostly used in older or military jets. What are the two main types of turbine compressors? Centrifugal flow and axial flow. Centrifugal compressors are simple, durable, and compact, perfect for small engines. Axial flow compressors are long, efficient, and used in large, high-performance engines. What does it mean to trim a turbine engine? Trimming means adjusting the fuel control so the engine produces the correct idle and maximum RPM. It fine-tunes the engine for smooth operation and optimal power output. What tool checks a turbine engine's performance accuracy? A jet cal analyzer or trimmer is used. It measures temperature, pressure ratio, and other performance values to ensure the engine meets manufacturer specifications. What is a hot section inspection? It's an inspection of the hottest parts of the engine: the combustor, turbine, and exhaust system. These areas face extreme heat, so regular checks prevent failures and maintain efficiency. What does on-condition maintenance mean for turbine engines? It means maintenance is done based on performance data, not time. Technicians track engine readings and only service components when performance drops or limits are reached. Before flight, what should be inspected on a turbine engine? Check the cowling air inlets and mounts. Inspect the inlet guide vanes and compressor or fan blades. Rotate the compressor for smoothness. Look at the turbine and exhaust. Check oil levels and test the ignition system. These checks ensure the engine is airworthy before takeoff. During startup, which instruments are critical to monitor? Watch the tachometer, oil pressure, and temperature gauges. Abnormal readings here are early warning signs of trouble. After installing a turbine engine, what confirms it's operating correctly? Start the engine and let it stabilize at idle. Monitor all engine instruments. Check takeoff thrust using the EPR indicator. After shutdown, inspect for fuel and oil leaks and verify all connections are tight. If a turbine engine shows high exhaust temperature, low RPM, and high fuel flow, what's the likely issue? That pattern usually means turbine damage or excessive wear. The engine is burning more fuel to produce less power, which causes higher temperatures. What are the signs of a bleed air valve malfunction? You'll see higher EGT, higher RPM, and higher fuel flow during takeoff and cruise. That means the valve isn't controlling compressor pressure correctly. Why is air bled off the compressor section? To unload the compressor at low speeds and manage airflow into the combustion chamber. It prevents compressor stalls and helps control temperature and pressure balance. What else is bleed air used for on an aircraft? It's used for cabin pressurization, heating and cooling, de-icing and anti-icing, engine starting and powering auxiliary systems. It's a vital, multi-purpose air source. How is a turbine engine preserved for long periods of storage? The oil and fuel systems are drained and filled with preservative oil. Before returning to service, the preservative is flushed out by motoring the engine. Always follow the manufacturer's exact preservation and restoration procedures. Where are most APUs located in modern jet aircraft? They are usually in the tail cone of the fuselage, where they're isolated from the cabin and close to the power and air systems. What's the function of an APU? An auxiliary power unit provides electrical power and compressed air when the main engines aren't running. It powers systems on the ground and can help start the main engines. Where does the APU's compressed air come from? It comes from bleed air off the turbine compressor or from a load compressor driven by a separate turbine inside the APU. In the A100 maintenance system, where can you find instructions for inspecting an airborne APU? Look in section 49-20, which covers APU inspection and servicing. How is APU troubleshooting done on modern aircraft? Mostly through the FADEC, the Full Authority Digital Engine Control. It stores fault codes to help technicians pinpoint issues quickly. What feature prevents an APU from shutting down while it's still too hot? A time delay system in the fuel control automatically closes the bleed air valve to remove the load and cool the unit before shutdown. What prevents an APU from overloading when the bleed air valve is wide open? The FADEC limits fuel flow automatically to keep the APU within safe operating limits. Where can you find safety steps for replacing an APU igniter plug? Always check the APU's maintenance manual. It lists the correct procedures and safety warnings. What kinds of adjustments and rigging are made on turbine engines? Mainly power lever and cable adjustments, and fuel control tuning to set proper idle speed and maximum thrust. These adjustments ensure smooth response and full power capability.